I want to say to my Japheth brothers that this whole ideology and social council culture program called replacement is real. What those men who had the tiki torches down in Charlottesville, Virginia, a couple of years ago, I don't know if the replacement ideology and culture canceling process is necessarily founded in the Jewish population. I don't know that to be true, but I know my Japheth brother, I can tell you that they are planning to replace you. No, this replacement business is real. Now, again, I don't know that Jews are behind it, but I know that there is a movement afoot to replace the Japheth man in America. And this is real. It's a cultural plan. Whether Bill Gates is behind it, I don't know. But what I can tell you is that there is a movement to replace the Japheth man. And wouldn't it be something if it was the Hamite man, the black man that was really behind it, Obama? But let me say this to you. Now, I want you to listen to me very carefully. Everybody from Harlem to the heartland of America, that gentrification is a real deal. Now, gentrification started some 30 years ago. It started here in the late 1980s. To present in Harlem and over in Fort Greene and Bed-Stuy on the the northeast segment of Washington, northeast Washington, D.C., and even out in Honolulu, Hawaii, gentrification. A group of, if you will, developers and real estate people, and there may have been Jewish people involved in that, looked around and said, these poor people got some of the best structured Art Deco buildings in America. Let's take them. Let's push them out. Let's decrease their income potential. Let's decrease, now here's gentrification on a real deal. Let's decrease their medical abilities. Let's decrease their hospital visits. Let's decrease their schools. Let's decrease their education. It wasn't just a matter of buying homes and moving in and developing it. Gentrification was a massive, if you will, program to decrease the ability to resist gentrification by the Japheth and by the LGBTQ communities that came into these staid communities with these great brownstones, these beautiful structures, these broad houses, highways, these river-to-river connections, these airport connections, that the Japheth man said, we're going to take it from the black man, but in order to take it, we not only have to just take it through taxes, through foreclosures, by not hiring them, giving them poor health care, not allowing them to live as long, creating confusion, putting confusion in the schools, and by that, we will weaken them. And that happened. That started 30 years ago. Now they've just about completely taken over Harlem and every place else they want to take. So I want to say to the Japheth brother, who's of another sort, from another mother, that they plan to replace you. Just like they've replaced the black people in Harlem, and they've done it. You see them sitting out there now, you think they're in Paris, France. All over Harlem, you got these white people sitting out there in these restaurants, eating their Caesar salad and drinking their Chardonnay. You could have never imagined that this would be going on in Harlem. But it was a multi-purpose plan to replace black people in Harlem with a process called gentrification. So I want to say, the media is pushing back and saying that replacement, this cancel culture replacement of white people in America by other white people, it's a hoax. No, it ain't. Y'all better listen. You better listen to me. I'm telling you, they're after y'all. They're going to replace you. Whether they're going to replace you with Muslims or whether they're going to replace you with Mexicans, I don't think they're going to replace you with black folk. I really don't think they want to go down that road. But I can tell you something. Brothers. You had better get together. You better get in your churches, your organization. Now, I'm not saying take up arms. That ain't what I'm saying. You didn't hear me say that. But you better organize and organize quickly, because the media and the education systems in America, you don't control none of that. You don't control the media, even in your little old town in Little Rock, Arkansas. You don't control it no more. Now in Birmingham, Alabama, or Vicksburg, Mississippi, you don't control the media. You don't control the education system. You don't control what they're doing to your children. They're turning your children against you, brother. Japheth, brother, you better look out. They're educating your children against you, and they're profiting and propping up civil rights and trying to make you look like a villain, trying to make you look like the meanest man on the planet through this whole right of civil rights, this whole idea, rather, of civil rights and civil rights education. It ain't just a matter of trying to kill all Japheth people that's not a part of the leftist, if you will, movement, cancel culture movement. It's not about them trying to kill you. They want to also to destroy the very foundations upon which you live, destroy your way of life, destroy your food ideas, destroy your culture. You'd better pay attention. Let me tell you something. I'm telling you what the Lord loves. I watched them do that to black people here in Harlem. I watched them buy off the black leaders. I watched them buy off Charles Rangel, David Dinkins, Al Sharpton, buy off the preachers, buy off the churches, buy off the houses, buy off the land. I watched them buy off the courts, buy off the judges. I watched them buy it off. Then I watched them come in with a teaching against anything that was against gentrification. I watched the media, the local news, the ABC, the NBC, the CBS. I watched the newspapers and the universities and the schools all unite behind gentrification and buying off, and anybody that stood against gentrification was called a hater, a hate preacher. Their names were written down in red as Nazis. You'd better watch yourself. I'm telling you, brother. I'm telling you, Japheth, brother, they're out there to get you. No, you had better watch yourself. No, they are out there. Their purpose is to make sure that you're no longer part of the American fabric. They want to change the American fabric. To those that came over on the Mayflower, they want to change the American fabric. Of those that established the 13 colonies, they want to change the American fabric. Of those that founded the Revolutionary War. And while I think there need to be more gun control, I'm tired of watching all this killing, and there are too many guns up in Harlem pointing at me. So I think they need more gun control. Let me tell you something about these replacement people. They not only want to take away the Second Amendment, they want to take away the First Amendment. Hell, even they got me on the run, and I don't run from nobody. But the First Amendment, you can't say what you need to say. You can't speak the truth no more. You can't identify a spade as a spade no more. They have taken away the First Amendment through the power of the courts. They've taken away your right of freedom of speech. They will take away your access to social media, to Twitter, to YouTube, to Facebook. They will take it away and call you a hater and will not let you get a word out. And then everybody will join against you to stop you. I'm telling you, Japheth, brother, you better watch out. If you really want to see what you're going to look like, come up here to Harlem and see what these crazy black people let these Japheth white people do to them over the last 30 years. They've taken everything from them and replaced them. They call it gentrification, but it really ought to be called replacement theology, replacement culture right here in Harlem, New York City. Y'all better wake up. And let me say one other thing, y'all, as well, is that you need to understand that Biden is the replacement transgender president. He is the one that has not been put in place by the powers of be, called the son of Satan. He is the one that has been put in place to replace God's, you can't make this up, to replace the biblical idea of male and with female and female with male, Biden's job is to replace that with transgender. He is the transgender president. He is the replacement president. Y'all had better wake up. Listen, black people, they don't pay no attention. Black people hate my sweat. They do. Listen, I've been telling people I was safer in prison down in Rayford, Florida, Union Korea, down around black people. I am. Because they worship gentrification Obama. They worship gentrification Al Sharpton. They worship rebellion teacher Dr. King. They worship them. And it's all about the grace of God. It's all about the grace of God. I'm still here to give voice and vent today. But I'll say something to y'all. I've seen it happen. I have seen them replace black people in Harlem. I've seen them do it, man. 30 years I watched them out my window. 30 years I watched them replace black people. For 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, I watched them replace the black man with a suit and tie and put on a pair of baggy pants and show his underwear and a pair of Air Jordans. I swear to God, I watched them have women take off their nice wool and cashmere dresses and their knitted suits and put on a pair of tight pants so tight they can't even breathe. They have to get resuscitation if they got to go to the bathroom to pee. Them pants are so tight. I watched them do it. I watched them replace the culture of the community. I watched them replace churches with brothels for homosexuals. I've watched them do it. My eyes have seen hell rise here in Harlem. I'm telling you, brother, you Japheth brothers, and anybody that's against the replacement, watch out. They might be a spy. To anybody that's saying the replacement is a hoax, that it ain't happening, that people in America like Bill Gates and others are not trying to replace the white man. The world has done come to something strange. When a black man in Harlem got to give a shout out to the white man in Heartland America, they're going to replace you, brother. And quite frankly, I don't see no way y'all stopping them. I don't see it being stopped. All I can do is warn you. Now maybe y'all can come up with some plan. But I tried my best to stop the replacement here in Harlem. They call it gentrification. I tried for years. You know what I got? I got hated. I got rocks thrown at me. I got cursed at. I got my name written in all. I got preached from pulpits all over the community as a hater. Simply trying to help, trying to stop the replacement, stop the economic ripoff, stop. And then they brought in the replacement, if you will, gentrification king, and Obama and Al Sharpton, the two of them kissing one another. Lord have mercy. I'm telling you Japheth brothers better watch out. And you better wise up. Now, I don't know how y'all going to deal with this. I'm still trying to push back the replacement and the gentrification here in Harlem. And I believe I'm going to win. Now, God given me a plan. It's called ATLAH. I believe I'm going to win. But I don't know about y'all. I don't know about what y'all going to do out there in the heartland. But I can tell you this and tell everybody you know. They do plan to replace you. Go look around America, and there won't be any white men. Not unless they are LGBTQ or work for the media, work for the Washington Post or the New York Times. There won't be any white men that are men that are manufacturers, men that work with their hands, men that farm and work the fields. That'll be gone. All of that, y'all will be like the Uyghurs up there in northern China. That will be gone. And it won't be long. It won't be long. I'm watching it. And I figured I'd give y'all a shout out to tell you, because they ain't Joe Biden is not my friend. He's a transgender replacement. This man's against God. He's against God. And so I'm not for them. And I just don't want to see it happen. What happened to me? Nobody came to me. Well, I do say that I will say some Japheth people did come to Harlem to try to help me out. But these black people, man, these Obama worshipers, damn. I mean, if Jesus could get the kind of worship of that Obama get, he our first black president. We got a black president. We got our first black president, y'all. Obama, our first black president. He our first black president. We They ain't never said that many adjectives about Jesus. Even tongue talkers in the Pentecostal church don't give Jesus that kind of glory. Not the way they gave Obama. No, our first black president, Obama. Lord have mercy. So, Joe Biden gonna do to y'all. I'm not laughing at you, Japheth brothers. But Joe Biden gonna do to y'all probably 10 times worse because I stood up and I fought him. I fought Obama, and I'm still winning. So I don't know if y'all got anybody like me in the Japheth crowd that can fight Biden and can fight this transgender thing that down there in Knoxville, Tennessee. They got 15-year-old boys having their testicles and what they call it, cut off. And now you want to join the girls' basketball team in Tennessee. So I don't know if y'all got anybody like me to fight, but you can look at some of my old tapes and see what I did fighting here up here in Harlem, fighting replacement gentrification. And I'm going to win. I'm going to turn all this stuff around. At any rate, everybody, when I've got another word for you people that are being replaced in the heartland, I'll be back. I'm James David Manning, everybody. I'm the Lord's servant. Over the years, we have served more than 1 million meals to hungry bellies and hungry people here in the Harlem community. And I wanted you to be able to see that. I want you to see our involvement with youth, our summer youth programs, our courtyard being used as a place where children can be safe, guarded, and protected as they have their miniature swimming pools, and a safe place for children to eat that is guarded, that is protected by our own sense of security, and the wholesome and fresh meals that we serve. We wanted you to be able to see the mission of this church. And we've been doing this for years. Just recently, one of our members, more than a 30-year member of this church, but it hasn't, not one that, that you would probably find as members of some other churches with their nose stuck up in the air. But her father is now close to death or very sick in the state of South Carolina. And I said to her, well, because she doesn't have money, I said, we will buy you a bus ticket, a round trip bus or train ticket for you to travel to South Carolina to be with your father in this time of pandemic. There's very little funding around. There's sickness everywhere. And the thing that just blew me away was she said, as she was talking to Elizabeth, she said, but how are you going to do that, to pay for me a round trip ticket to travel and give me expense money? And because Pastor Manning has to feed the children, he has to educate the children, he has to buy school supplies for them, he has to pick them up in the mornings and take them back, and then he's got the ministry he has to take care of, all the bills of running the church, of keeping a major house like our house operational, keep the lights on, how are you going to be able to do that? And she was almost reluctant to take the money because she felt that it would be better served by feeding the children. We gave it to her anyway. But we want you to know that we do a work in this community. There have been a lot of lies told on us. And it's almost unimaginable why some of the people that have lied on us. But I can tell you behind all of it is the LGBTQ community. They don't want us to be successful, but we are, and we're going to continue to be successful in serving the meals that we're serving and serving the people that we are. And the LGBTQ community will not take us down. They are not going to take our church. Yet they've defamed us. They've written ugly newspaper articles about us. They've marched against us. They've done a whole lot of ugly things. But you see what we have done, and that's not even the half of our service to children and to the needy in terms of our homeless shelters and the things that we've done over the years. And we will continue. And probably the lies and the smears and the ugly newspaper articles and the wicked spirits and the so-called I ain't for the black man, that is not going to go away. I don't expect it to go away. I don't. But I do tell you this, that we will succeed against all of that, for God is with us, and I am his servant. This is a bit of a news blog we do, looking at spiritual wickedness in high places for the most part, making some observations about it and giving people a biblical foundation to the way of interpreting, rather than have Sean Hannity or Laura Ingraham or Janine Pirro or Anderson Cooper or Rachel Maddow or Don Lemon, Rush Limbaugh interpret what's going on in the world. You come to me and I'll tell you based on what the Word of God says. They'll just give you their worldly, sinful view. But the Manning Report will tell you what God has said, whether to say yea or nay, whether to go or to stay. You'll be led by the word of Almighty God. Come to the Manning Report on a daily basis to interpret the spiritual wickedness in high places, because there's plenty of it that's going on. And so I'm the Lord's servant, James David Righteous Rebel Manning, and I'm here to serve you with news and information.